not even turning on.
All right.
Oh,
Okay,
finally.
we have a quorum.
You do you.
Chris, you wanna do the pledge?
Certainly. Excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is approval of minutes from the November 18th meeting.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the Board of Education meeting November 18, 2025.
Okay,
Krista Stacy, I'll second that.
all right, any corrections anyone has? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Dennis wasn't here, so. Okay. And then we have the approval of the minutes of the special board meeting on December 3rd. I have a motion and second, please.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes special board meeting on December 3rd, 2025.
Do we have a second?
Don't say Todd, I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Any changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain, I wasn't present.
Okay, so
I wasn't.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 7 approve, 3 abstentions.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll turn it over to the superintendent for the recognition awards. Oh, here's Chris.
Password.
All right, we're gonna start with The Key Is Me. Michelle Combs, come on up. So Michelle Combs is an 8th grade teacher here at Kelly Middle School. She was nominated by Lisa Cormier. I have worked with Michelle for 3 years and I have observed a level of dedication and care for students that is truly exceptional. Michelle works very hard to connect with students, making them feel heard, valued, and supported both academically and personally. Michelle builds meaningful relationships with students, showing empathy and patience, while also encouraging them to challenge themselves and reach their full potential. Michelle has a deep passion for fostering a positive school community. She was only one of 2 adults who volunteered to collect food for the Kelly Pantry at Montville Stop and Shop. When I asked her why she volunteered, she told me that she believed it was her professional responsibility to support the community. This is exactly the kind of person Michelle is. It is a rare find for an educator who combines high expectations, care, and dedication in such a powerful way. Michelle has made a lasting impact on her students, and I have no doubt that her impact will last. I make a difference. Ruse Linares, can you come up? I'm used to seeing her behind a desk in the school. So Ruse is the I Make a Difference. She's a school nurse at Uncas Elementary. She was nominated by Melissa Kennedy. Ruse is a caring and incredible nurse that goes above and beyond for her students. She has her students' health and well-being as her main focus, but advocates for her students' overall educational experience. She recently gave me a nursing report and asked questions about support a student will need moving into 1st grade for their transition and success. She is a positive, encouraging staff member, and it is a pleasure to work with her in the Norwich Public Schools District. Congratulations for being such a valuable member of our school community. Congratulations and thank you. inspire me. Kaden Jarman, come on up.
Sorry.
What, all right.
Hi, Kaden. So Kaden, wow, you're a pretty popular guy and very important. So Kaden he was nominated by Principal Holohan at Mahan Elementary School. He's a kindergarten student. Kaden is Mrs. Sandoval's, and I saw Mrs. Sandoval out there, his class, is a shining example of what perseverance, collaboration, and a love for learning can achieve. From the start of the school year, Kaden has embraced every challenge with determination and focus. His academic progress has been impressive, but even more inspiring is the way he models what it means to be a leader in the classroom, demonstrates classroom expectations, supports his peers, and often takes on the role of a class leader with maturity well beyond his years. His positive attitude reminds us of the importance of hard work, determination, and the belief that every day is an opportunity to grow. His enthusiasm has a ripple effect on those around him, motivating both his classmates and his teachers. What makes Kaden truly deserving of this recognition is his genuine love for school. So congratulations.
Yeah.
If I can have Nick and Tig come on up, please. Murphy. Tig's brother's here, and when I said Tig, they both turned around. So, on November 20th, Jamie Bender, Principal Holohan, Principal Lumbers, and I had the privilege of joining the families of PE teachers Nick Murphy from Mahan and Laura Tig from Kelly Middle School at the Caper, and that stands for Connecticut Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, for the awards reception that was held in Southbury. It was a wonderful evening celebrating excellence in teaching and the meaningful impact educators have on students every day. We are incredibly proud to share that Nick Murphy was named Elementary Physical Education Teacher of the Year, and Laura Tig received the honor of Adapted Physical Education Teacher of the Year. Both recognitions reflect their extraordinary dedication, creativity, and commitment to ensuring all students feel successful and confident in physical education. Their work truly elevates our district, and we are grateful for the passion they bring to the students and schools every single day. So thank you to all of you. I want to say that they got big banners
Yeah.
that I hear that we have to hang in the gym, like really big banners. And we have some pictures. I don't know if
Oh, it's awesome.
oh, there it is. There they are. There's the banners that they received.
Yeah.
Very nice. Congratulations again.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. One more. Can I have Steve and Katrina Bousquet come on up, please?
Trina could not make it.
She could not make it, so we got Steve. So, good evening. So today, we're proud to recognize and extend our many thanks to Steve and Katrina, owners of American Landscape and Lawn Science, for their generous donation and support of the Huntington School Playground Mulch Project. So thank you so much. And we have a little something for you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Extend
And before we go on, I just want to welcome Dennis Slopak back to the board, newly elected. He's dressed up for the holiday. No, he didn't win. I'm not sure. Maybe you did win the Masters and you finally had a reason to break out that jacket again. All right,
Looks like you won
great.
the Masters.
Next on the agenda are middle school happenings. So if we have students from Kelly and teachers to come up. And and if you could just give your names, the school you're at, and
Relax.
what's going on,
Like, relax.
Some of us.
and which grade you're in too.
My name is Tenzin Lopsang. I'm from Kelly Middle School and I'm an 8th grade student counselor.
All right.
December 9, Kelly Middle School recap student record. Scholastic Book Fair concluded last Friday, December 5th. We will be holding a PJ fundraiser to support the Connecticut Children's Medical Center on Friday, December 12th. We are starting a new program called the Coolest Figure to recognize staff members at Kelly. Winter sports are in full swing with our first basketball game this Thursday. Our Thanksgiving food drive was a success. All donations were given to the NPS Loft for Thanksgiving. Our next Cougar Pride Day will be Tuesday, December 23rd. Our last Cougar Pride Day included having students get familiar with lacrosse, in partnership with NFA Lacrosse and Norwich Youth Lacrosse Association.
Okay, great.
My name is Alfredo Reyes from Teachers Moore Middle School. I'm in the 8th grade. And this week on December 11th, we will host our annual Family Paint Night among our student art showcase, a great opportunity to celebrate creativity in our school. Our student council will be hosting Candyland Winter Dance on Friday. We'll be holding a PJ fundraiser to support the Connecticut Children's Medical Center on Friday, December 12th. During homeroom this week, 8th grade students are decorating, giving trees to donate to the Senior Center. The National Junior Honor Society is currently running a book drive to support our elementary school students. Winter sports are in full swing. We'll be hosting our first games on Thursday afternoon for a home doubleheader. We'll be holding our winter concert for band and chorus on December 18th, starting at 5:30 p.m. And lastly, but certainly not least, students with the highest attendance wait for the month of November for a chance to spray Mr. LaVoy with silly string tomorrow.
Okay, great. 5-minute recess. We're gonna go out in the hall and take pictures of the award winners, and then we'll be right back. former board member Carlene, who just walked in, so we have a little gift for her also.
Come on up, Carlene. As everybody knows, Carlene did not run this year, and she put in a lot of service to us, so there's some flowers and a little gift. So I just want to say a little thing about you, Carlene. Tonight, we recognize Carlene for her 6 years of dedicated service to our Board of Education. From the very beginning, she has been a steady, thoughtful, and reliable presence, someone who shows up fully, does the work, and always keeps students at the center of her decisions. For all 6 years, Carlene has served as our board secretary, a role that requires patience, attention to detail, and an incredible amount of behind-the-scenes effort. She has also given her time across numerous committees, always bringing clarity, kindness, and a perspective that helps move the work forward. For the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of having her seated to my right at every meeting, and I'll miss that. I can't even begin to express how grateful I am for her calm presence, her support, and her quiet strength. She has been someone I could count on. She's steady, consistent, and genuinely committed to what is best for Norwich Public Schools. So Carlene, thank you for your service, your partnership, and the heart you bring to this work. We are better because of you, and we are grateful for all you have given over the last 6 years.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Carlene.
I'm gonna miss you.
Usually I was at the end of the table.
Okay, and now if we have a presentation by Dr. Nate Canal coming from NFA.
Good evening, everybody, and really appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm Nate Quinnell, I'm the head of school at Norwich Free Academy, and this has been an opportunity I've had over the past few years to come and present to you a little bit about NFA and the relationship between Norwich Public Schools and Norwich Free Academy, and I really appreciate that. Also, it's great to watch you recognize families and teachers and faculty members, and really appreciate the way that that's conducted, et cetera. It's a great example for all of us, and I thought that those kids will certainly look good in red in a couple of years where they are. So we're excited to see that over time. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm going to some series of slides put together to share with you, and thank you, Amber, for your help getting this in. I'm sorry we're a little late today getting this in, but happy to take questions at any point in time and try to answer questions as we're working through them. I'll certainly leave that in the chairman's hands, how he wants to handle that, but eager for questions, eager for feedback, and eager to continue to grow this relationship. Also really want to thank Susan in the time we've had a chance to work together. It's been a real pleasure to lead with Susan, and really appreciate students and entire team's dedicated leadership and partnership in Norwich Free Academy. And really want to thank you for that. So we'll jump in. Last year I came and I talked a little bit about Mayor John Breed, who was one of the original founders of Norwich Free Academy, or one of the really original dares to Norwich Free Academy that inspired the Reverend Putnam Gulliver to form the school. And figured I couldn't tell that story twice, so I tried to come up with a different one this time. And hopefully you recognize this. This is the seal for Norwich Free Academy. It's most prominently displayed on the floor of the atrium when you first walk in. And it's a seal that was designed by an art teacher named Charlotte Eastman. You may or may not remember her. She designed this in the 60s, and she researched the history of Norwich Free Academy, and these three phrases stuck out as original mission points. These points were learning, art, and industry. And I walk over that seal on a daily basis, so do 2,000 other students, so do your Norwich Public School students on a daily basis. And I think, what does this still communicate to us today? And I think it tells a story of values, it tells a story of history, it tells a story of where we're going, and it tells a story of who we are. And as we think about Norwich Free Academy and its relationship as your publicly designated high school, this is Norwich, Connecticut's high school in a different governance system, but a high school that has been from its very days and its very origins committed to the learning of your students It's been committed to the idea of industry, and it was interesting as I watched the gentleman come who obviously made a donation with you around the mulch projects, but I think I heard, the world needs workers, and Norwich Free Academy has been that for Norwich Public School students. From the very beginning of time, whether it was the commercial building that we call Cranston or the manufacturing building we call Bradlaugh, it's been committed to that. And it's been committed to this idea of all that's beautiful in art and in nature, and bringing that together so kids can enjoy and love being in school. And I certainly saw the young man there with his father and these two young 7th or 8th graders from Teachers in Kelly. This is the story of what we're looking to communicate in kids. And it's a seal of value. And it's pretty interesting to me when we think about what remains for 170 years. Certainly, I'm not going to be around 170 years, and unless you know a secret I don't, you probably won't be either. So when things last that long, there's meaning. And in that, it's not Norwich Free Academy last night, it's the relationship between a community and a school. And I'm extremely proud of that relationship, and I hope you are too, and I hope you see it like that. And under that auspice, want to kind of dive into where we are. So really 3 things I want to try to hit tonight. One, I want to overview our programs, got a little updated, did this a little bit differently the last time because some were here, some of you weren't. If you'd like to see last year's presentation, just invite me back. I can give it to you again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you want to do that. And I want to talk a little bit overview of who we are, our programs and opportunities. I know Norwich Free Academy is not new to you. Some of you went to Norwich Free Academy. Some of you worked at Norwich Free Academy. Some of your children graduated from Norwich Free Academy. But Norwich Free Academy is a unique place in the state of Connecticut. It's a unique place in the country, frankly. And it is a gem in terms of its relationship and the fortunate relationship that we are lucky to have with Norwich Public Schools. And I want to try to hit hard on that. I want to talk a little bit about the success of Norwich Students NFA. Hot off the presses in your folder is what we do deliver as an annual performance report. Susan, I didn't have a chance to get this to you before the meeting, and I apologize. Typically, I send this to all the partner district superintendents. This will come to you in an email. I'm still waiting. Yours is the first one done, so I grabbed it tonight. And it's, now this is the 24-25 school year, but this is a story of your kids and their success and their progress. And I'm gonna talk about that in tonight's presentation. You have a lot to be proud of. You send us wonderful, amazing, bright, talented, beautiful students. And watching them thrive and succeed as you watch here on graduation day of last year is something that is really remarkable and extravagant a moment. So that's what we're gonna try to get into, and of course, questions and answers. Please don't hesitate. I have 7 children, so I'm very adept to answering any questions, especially the ones I don't know the answers to. I'll do my best. So jumping in, I want to just give a quick few updates. These are things you maybe have heard about, read about, wondered about, but I want to share here. One thing I am extremely proud of is last year we completed the 2025 through 2030 master agreement. Thank you, Susan, for your hard work on that. And of course, thank you as a board for supporting that as well. Master agreement is a really important document. It's a document that guides our relationship. It essentially sets up the premises of how we work as your publicly designated high school. It's extremely unique. It's a different relationship than many K-12, our neighboring K-12 systems have, in which you're working with an independent, privately endowed institution. But in that master agreement sets up the terms of service. It sets up the expectations that you should have as a partner at Norwich Free Academy. And it sets up the delivery documents that come to you on a very frequent basis. And I'm sure Susan shares those with you. We believe that you should know how your students are doing. We believe you should know what's going on. And we believe you should know how business works in Norwich Free Academy. So a really important document that guides us through where we are and has been a long-standing tradition here and something I'm proud that we can continue. Second thing I want to talk about is the partnership regarding 8th grade academic credit matriculation. I'm not sure the difference between articulation and matriculation, but I'm sure Mark knows, but I'm not an attorney, so he'll give us the cliff notes on that later. Matriculation, I think, has something to do with how things are combined and work together. And this is a really important thing for us. This was a proposal that came from the partner districts to us last year, and that's to offer students the opportunity to earn credit for algebra in their 8th grade year. So Teachers in Kelly, the opportunity to do that. This is a pilot fledgling program. We've done this across all of the 9 partners who come to us. And I'm proud of the students here that were able to take the coursework. It was for last year. It was a pilot program here, so the numbers are relatively small. It's about 120 students in the catchment area. But to see students be able to get that credit in algebra is a really important thing because it puts them in the geometry track by their sophomore year. Why that's important is it allows them to really take the advanced coursework that they want And it also, for students who are more interested in the arts or exploring other courses, it opens up their schedule. At this high school level, you're required to take 25 credits to graduate, which is a very full course load, and this frees them up to do that. In addition, we've also been able to offer and partner with, and this hasn't become an option yet here at in Norwich, because I do not believe you have a world language program in your K-8 schools. But hopefully at some point, if that ever became an option, we're doing the same thing with Spanish. And we're proud of those partnerships. We're proud of what that means. I think the best part of that whole thing really is that our teachers can work together with your teachers to talk about what are the expectations and what does it mean to be ready in the 9 through 12 level. Third thing I want to take really quickly is a mentorship program here at Kelly School. My knowledge on this is developing and growing. Mr. Butler, I know that's a name I think many of you know well, and someone we all have great respect for. He runs our office, the diversity office of the school, and he's partnered here at Kelly. And I did happen to talk to the principal here before that in a quick little briefing on what that is. We have students that are looking for leadership opportunities. We have students who need to be in front of other students. And I'm really grateful to Kelly for giving us that. We have a series of really talented, gifted students who are able to come up here and work with your students. And think about the dynamics of what's happening. The scariest thing about being an 8th grader about to graduate is where are you going to sit at lunch the first day of your freshman year? And so that conversation can be taken care of in a mentoring opportunity. Suddenly there's a face, there's a friend, there's a role model, there's someone I want to live up to. You know, if you say about, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about the challenges of young people today. I don't buy into that conversation. But I can tell you one of the challenges our young people have, just like you and I had, is who do we look up to and what do we want to be? And when we establish that with kids who are successful in whatever track it is, a college track, career track, a military track, an athletic track, an arts track, we set our kids up to win and success. And that's a really cool program. The staff here at Kelly and the teachers have been just really helpful and open. And I learned about a new program, as a matter of fact, when I was talking to your principal. Apparently our lacrosse team came up here earlier in the year and are working to set up lacrosse. It's obviously a sport. It would be a great sport for us to grow here in Norwich, especially with our roots in Native American history, and especially in an exposure sport for kids that don't get a lot of chance there. Those are exactly the types of things that we should be doing, partnering up and down the hill between us. Yeah.
Do you have any numbers on how many of our 8th graders?
13 8th graders are in the algebra credit last year, and we expect that to expand. It's a first-year pilot, and that'll grow from there. 100 students total.
Yes, I heard that.
Yep, 13 here in Norwich.
Thank you.
The fourth one, I'm really excited about. This is a program, if you've been around NFA, you've known about in the 70s, all the way up to the 70s, there was the Norwich Art School. The Norwich Art School was a pretty renowned institution because it offered a comprehensive arts experience for kids and was centered in Converse Art Gallery, which is really what Converse Art Gallery was built for. In the 70s, with the Teacher Enhancement Act, the requirement was for teachers to have a certification to be a teacher. And many of the teachers at Norwich Free Academy, they were artists, so they weren't certified teachers as we know today. And the program devolved from there. We looked at this over the past couple of years and say, wow, we have such a unique opportunity to introduce students to a very dedicated elite art experience in our region with the resources that are already at the academy. The academy was built for, and those 3 themes we talked about. So this school year, that's been reopened. Our students at Norwich Free Academy, your students at Norwich Free Academy, now have the opportunity to earn a diploma of distinction, which sets up a track of coursework, taking them from the basic levels of art, so for example, drawing 1, all the way through AP studio art. If you're looking to go to school, to art school, these are exactly the type of portfolios that set you up to be accepted to some most elite universities in the country in terms of art. The other thing we've added to it, though, instead of just the art side and the 2D art, is we've added in our dance program. We have a nationally recognized dance program, tap, jazz, ballet, pom, and hip hop, that is a part of this program, as well as our theater program. All this is a part of this. We've partnered up with an organization. You've probably heard of the IB program, International Baccalaureate Program. That's an international program started in Europe, and it's really seeped into American schools. There's a very similar program. It's called the Cambridge International Program, started at Cambridge University in England. And we've also added that program at Norwich Free Academy for our theater program that on a national level has a lot of distinction and recognition. The fifth thing on a quick update wise want to hit was really working hard, just like you in Norwich Public Schools. I'm so excited about the building projects you guys are working on and transforming your schools. That's a game changer for this community. That's a game changer for that young man that was sitting here with his father. That is a statement of, and the best part of being in Norwich Free Academy is it's an apolitical place. So this is not meant to be a political line here. But that is talking about a community that invests in education, and you should be really proud of that. We are also working on that. This last summer, we did an overhaul of our locker room area. That's a high frequency spot of our students where we want to really send that message of school pride, what it means to be a Wildcat, what a story of honor and legacy are. If you haven't got a chance to see that, you really should. It's a neat story. There's a picture of a very young Coach Iavino in that. It's worth the price of admission. You'd like to see that.
Appreciate that.
Pre-mustache, although that's now, that's part of the gig. Thank you for that. This summer, we're gonna be launching a modernization of our cafeteria. If you graduated in 1970 from Norwich Free Academy, the cafeteria looks just like it did when you graduated. So good news, this summer, using funding that we've developed through our National School Lunch Program with money that gets invested into the cafeteria, required to be invested in the cafeteria, same as you have here as Norwich Public Schools. We're gonna be doing a modernization program that'll look very much like a college type of eating environment, a marketplace type of feel, good spot for our kids to enjoy that really important time of their day. We've also, through privately raised fund and donation, actually came a donation from a student who's an international student in South right now, has had a really good experience. He has had a great experience and he wanted to make a lasting investment at Norwich Free Academy. He donated money and we've repurposed a room in our library. We're calling it the Grid. It'll be an esports center. So I'm not a huge video gamer. Turns out I missed that window of life. I don't know about you, but if you're between 8 years old and 18 years old, your thumbs are slightly larger than ours because you play so many video games, you've evolved slightly. So we're gonna take advantage of that talent and that interest and that passion and turn this esports as actually a CAAC sanctioned sport. By day, this room will be a virtual reality room where we're using VR glasses where students can do medical procedures, etc. Welding, painting, etc. And by evening, it'll be esports thing. Just learned, and I didn't know this until this morning, our unified sports program delivered esports during COVID. And they're very excited about this as well. So I think that'll be a neat piece. Slater Hall, as you may know, Slater Hall, Slater Auditorium has had a 2-year project for us to upgrade the entire theater. That theater last was touched around the 70s again. And is in a place where it needs some significant help. And the grand opening for that will be next fall, next November. We hope to kick off a play in there and that'll be completely redone. Seats, floors, stage, curtains, sound system, lighting, etc. It's a really inviting place that can match all other school performing arts. And our target, kind of following your lead, is what you're doing over here at Fontaine, is we're working to do an upgrade, hopefully next summer, of the athletic complex in which the entire field is lived as useful use and is in disrepair and needs work. That field will be redone. We're looking at some public bathrooms on the side of the concession stand and some other kind of fun things that'll make that an updated modern space. So some important updates. I share this with you because you are partners at Norwich Free Academy. This is your school. There's lots of neighboring towns around it. That isn't your school. Those are neighboring towns where their investment is. We are your school. This is Norwich Free Academy. And these facilities are important for you to use, for us to use, and want to be places that you can be proud of. So I want to jump a little bit into students at Norwich students at NFA. I don't know if you saw the New London the Day article on the banner raising we did there. In I think it was 1963. No, excuse me, it was 1961. This banner was created by a group of students, and obviously taking a shot at our rivals to the south. And our Varsity N Club, which is a group of athlete leaders on our sports teams, recreated this. There was 45 of those kids. I watched them paint that banner. They did about 45 minutes. It was incredible. And we rehung that building and recreated a photo from 1961. You may know Mr. Chief Fasaro, who was the former chief of police here in Norwich. He was on that team. A great photo of him standing underneath that. He actually remembered that moment from his high school experience. That's pretty cool. But anyway, student enrollment at Norwich Free Academy are about 2,066 students. This is the 24-25 year. 1,493 of those, about 72% of the school, come from Norwich Public Schools. We are a Norwich Public School high school. Students identify with special needs. We have about 12% of our population. 246 is 228 students, or 93% of that number, come from Norwich. And really want to thank Director Hughes for her work, We have some amazing students that are identified with special needs at our school. Your team does a fantastic job with those kids. Those kids become celebrities for all intents and purposes at Norwich Free Academy. And the 4 programs that we offer, moving from a resource-based program to a very intensive behavioral-based program, are programs that serve kids in their greatest moments of need and families in their greatest moments of need, something we're really proud of. And then last, a large, quickly growing population for us, as you are a multilingual population. We have 316 students. We've eclipsed the number of students identified with special needs. There's 316 total. 287 or 91% of those students come from Norwich Free Academy. And these kids are really cool kids. These are kids who come to us with multiple languages. You know, I think if you told me left arm or another language, I might take the other language. I don't know if that's coming out the right way or vice versa, but you get where I'm going with this. These are kids that if we can just unlock that ability to read and write in English, suddenly have an asset and an arrow in their quiver. And these are kids who are the faces of our community, and kids that when we embrace and lean into, great things can happen. I'm super proud. I'll talk about it a little bit in a minute here. Our career opportunities, we identified this as how can we take a student who's an ML or a multilingual learner and really capitalize on their asset that they know French, they know Haitian Creole, they know Spanish. And one of the ways we did is we partnered with Bacchus Hospital. It's a certification called medical terminology or medical interpreter. And this is the person that when you don't speak English and you happen to go to the ER and the doctor comes out, and to be honest with you, I do speak English when the doctor comes out and talks to me. I don't know what they're talking about either. So I don't think it's a language barrier on that one, but you kind of get the point I'm trying to go with. Then suddenly they are certified in interpreting what that doctor says. Suddenly you become an asset. Your language is not a detriment, your language is an asset. I'm really proud of that. And I don't mean to pontificate about that, we're just proud of it. Little chart of our kids, the racial breakdown of our kids. You know, it's the face of Norwich Public Schools, the face of Norwich, the face of Southeast Connecticut, and certainly the face of Norwich Free Academy. Jumping forward, we talk about NFA, and this is a picture of Slater Hall. This is a rendition of what it's becoming. This was one of the concepts that were drawn up. Pretty cool, pretty stunning. This is your auditorium. You have a beautiful auditorium here, and we really appreciate the chance to perform in that, certainly for our concerts. But this is there's not a place like this as far as Slater Hall. We are 2 campuses. We're centered on 17 acres of land. We talk a lot about main campus, but the Sachem campus, just down the street from us, is a small alternative school. Around 60 students go to school there. These are students that are overaged and undercredited and often just need a different type of experience. You have students there that are special needs students, and you have regular ed students. We typically run that program for 11th and 12th graders. And we've recently been marketing that to the larger area of Southeast Connecticut and got significant interest outside of the catchment area right now. You know, we talked a little bit about our state-of-the-art athletic complexes, and then obviously the other piece of us is what's unique about our school are the robust art and performing spaces. Slater Hall that we're looking at now, a full-time dance studio in which I want to say 180 students are participating right now in our dance program. They just finished Alice in Wonderland. Is our Christmas show. Just a really awesome group of young lady and young men who do that. We have 3 clay studios, a jewelry and metal studio that's full-time, or we're moving that into a welding component there as well. Welding and soldering have a lot of similarities. Full darkroom photography lab, digital marketing lab. And again, I walk around this school and I say, I'm so grateful to be in a public school that serves Norwich Public Schools. And you know, and that my children personally have gotten to experience going to school here, and so do yours. Slater Museum, I don't know if you've been there recently. 3 years ago, we redid the inside of the museum during the roofing project. Slater Museum has the largest collection of plaster casts from over 40 museums across the world. It is the largest collection on the largest and most complete collection across the Eastern Seaboard. This was a gift from William Slater in honor of his father, John Fox Slater, who, again, was an integral part of the Norwich community and understood the importance for Norwich residents to experience art and beauty who might not be able to get to the continents around the globe. It's a public museum. My favorite time being in the museum is not what you're looking at right now, but when our art class is in there and they're sketching. Behind the last statue there is the goddess Nike, the goddess of victory, and watching our students sketching that, interacting with, being a part of that, experiencing that, growing in that. You know, I believe that art is something that if you wanna have an appreciation for, you have to experience, you have to be around it, spend time with it. And this is your museum that gives it. Kind of a fun fact, there's 10,000 objects in the collection. A quarter of the objects in our collection are actually displayed. The other 3/4 are in a vault that's underneath the atrium or underneath Charlie Eastman's seal. If you ever wanna go down and take a look at that with me, that's a kind of fun thing. I can't promise you we'll make it out of there, because those walls move back and forth with the collection, but if you're willing to sign the insurance disclaimer, I'm happy to take you down there and we can go from there. And then, of course, you know, student life. Really proud of our football team. Rashawn Klahar is one of your kids. This kid is gonna be something, he is something special. And he's gonna, last night, they took a tough one on the nose in some really cold weather, against Southington. But a pretty cool team that, has really evolved, won their first home playoff game since 2014, won their Thanksgiving Day game, won their, by a literal miracle, won their homecoming game against Fitch. And you know, a great story of a group of boys and a coach coming together and a community supporting them and what it means. Norwich kids are our sports programs. In 2024, the year you're looking at, 1,086 Norwich kids accounted for 1,086 clubs or athletic opportunities. So if I play 3 sports, I count as 3. But it just gives you a sense, Norwich kids are involved. Norwich kids are the core of what we do. Norwich kids are having experience. Sometimes I hear people, and you know, and honestly, I'm not from I didn't grow up around here. This has been new to me for the past 3 years. When I walked around the school, for me as a parent, I had to pinch myself, said like, this is, I can't believe that kids can go here. Like, this is a school where my kids can go. But I hear funny things. Like, I hear things, people say, well, you know, NFA is so big, my kids are gonna get lost there. And I would say, one, NFA is not a place where you go to get lost. NFA is a place where you go to get found. NFA is not a place where you have to fit into this little tiny community brand of kids who have been together K through 8. And you have to look like this and sound like this and do that and fit into that. And God forbid you're different than your big brother. That's not what NFA is. NFA is a place that you're gonna go, you're gonna find your people, you're gonna find your passion, we're gonna grow you. I hear things like NFA is a school where athletics are such a big deal, I'll never get a chance to play. That's not true. There's over 40 varsity sports there with 3 levels, freshman, JV, and varsity, and with a full array of summer conditioning, workouts, and programming. You have a better chance of playing a sport at NFA than you do at a school that only has 15 spots on their basketball team. And I really, you know, I say these things with passion and energy and conviction because I know they're true, because my kids have experienced them. And for you, many of your kids have too. And it's something you should be really proud of to be a part of. Jumping into the academic side of the house, last year I took a moment, I clicked on this course offerings. I'm not gonna do that today, but I would encourage you to do that. I'm assuming that you'll get this presentation linked to you and you can click on that 250 course offerings. The NFA course offering is larger than 80% of the colleges in Connecticut in terms of the courses that are being offered. When you go through our course catalog, if you click that link, you'll start in A, alphabetically, it'll be the arts. You'll go through 25 to 30 art classes before you hit the B's of business. The NFA curriculum offering, the most challenging thing at NFA is making the hard decision of, I really wanna take this, but I only have enough room on my schedule to take that. That is a wonderful problem to have as a young person. That's a problem of opportunity. We have over 17 advanced placement courses, which means, and what we've done, I think is really, I'm really proud of the academic team. They've paired together AP courses. You guys know what that is. You have to take the AP exam. You have to get a 5, usually to get credit in college for that. But what we've done is we've taken the AP coursework and paired it up with dual credit classes from Eastern, UConn, and Three Rivers. And taking that course means you walk away with a college credit. My son will walk away from NFA this year as a senior. I'm gonna miss him, but he'll walk away with 20 college credits. That's over a year of college. Essentially, if you go to the University of Connecticut, that's worth $30,000. We have 450 students enrolled on our 1 or more college credits. That's over 4,000 credits. 128 students will earn, you know, my son is not unique. There are days where I think he's extremely unique. This morning when he left the dog outside, I thought it was very unique. That's not how I described it to him, but anyway, I digress. They'll earn between 11 and 20 college credits. That's worth over an investment for families, about $1.3 million. There are honors courses across all of our honors teams. When students come to NFA, they don't just get dumped into a college campus. They get put into what's called the Cranston building on a high school team, exactly like you do here at Teachers in Kelly. There's 115 students that are worked with 4 essential core subject teachers, and they're working to understand that student's needs, that family's needs, and how we can work our student into our school. Every one of those teams offers honors opportunities, so you don't have to just be in the honors program. You can be in honors science, you can be in honors English, you can be in honors social studies or English. That's a huge deal. Not everybody qualifies in every one of those subjects, excuse me. When you go to many of the small schools that are in the region, you're either an honor student or you're not an honor student. That's called getting lost. That's not called getting found. And that's a really important distinguishing difference. Here's a little report card on your kids, GPA and high honors. 358 of your kids last year made high honors, 87 made high honors, 73 made honors, for a total of 518 kids. That's close to 40% of your students are honor students at our school. That's something that speaks to the preparation of Norwich Public Schools, speaks to the quality of your elementary schools through middle schools, speaks to your leaders, speaks to the development you're doing. We hear too much about kids not doing well. Let's look at the data of where they are doing well. And I know you guys have the same metrics that you're looking at. Kind of building off a little bit of what I talked about, college and career programming, dual credit offering. It's a huge deal at NFA. This is some of those numbers for Norwich kids specifically. You can see Three Rivers College, out of 9 through 12, you have 51 kids taking college credit courses, 4 of them being freshmen. That's pretty amazing. Working across ECSU is Eastern. You have 177 of you. Now, it's not 177 kids. Let me pause that. This is the course they're taking. So if I'm taking 2 courses, that would count twice. But all in, your kids are taking a total of 729 dual credit courses at Three Rivers, Eastern, UConn, et cetera. Moving down, kind of looking at this this is advanced coursework for kids. This is high level, rigorous academics. My first 2 children, I live in Portland, Connecticut. And I live in Portland, Connecticut because my wife grew up in Portland, Connecticut. I was speaking with Miss Ivina before this. She asked me, like, what's it like? Do you have support? And when I met her, and I told her the story, so I'm gonna share it here as well. I guess it's on my mind. And this is not a grievance, and I hope this isn't being on TV. Maybe it is, but I'm running the story anyway. My mother-in-law, at our wedding, my mother-in-law said to me, I'm not from around here, and she said to me, we're glad to welcome you to the family. Don't take my daughter away. I said, Roger that. I get it. We moved 2 miles from our house. So we're there. Like, we did it. 3 years ago, my mother-in-law migrates to Florida for the winter. I'm like, who's living up to the end of the deal here? That has nothing to do with this, but I guess where I'm trying to go on the story here is the idea of support and how support works together. So your kids are thriving. I think 2,100 students are taking advanced coursework. 2,156 kids are taking advanced coursework. That's impressive stuff for your kids. Moving forward, NFA at a time was labeled as a school that had a very college focus. And in other words, if you wanted to work in the trades, if you worked in career work, college wasn't for you, NFA wasn't the right place to be. That no longer is true. That no longer can be true because the market won't allow that to be true. When we look at the hiring numbers, certainly here in Southeast Connecticut, largely driven by electric boat, things have to be different. When you hire a plumber to come to your house and they give you the bill for fixing the sink and you have to remortgage the house to pay the bill, things have to be different. We need more people who can work in the trades. NFA, as it always had from its very early origin stories, has taken on that mission. And over the past 5 years, this is something that we've worked on. We call it career and technical training. We offer 2 different concepts here. One is called pipelines and the other one is called pathways. A pipeline essentially is a certification on the end that has a value and a merit to it that's portable outside of school. So the YMPI program is a partnership that we work on with Eastern Connecticut Workforce Board. Those students are taking OSHA 10. Those students are taking their certification courses in measurement. Those students are being employed by EB prior to graduation. We had 35 of those kids. Most of those kids were Norwich kids last year. Probably 2/3 of those kids were Norwich kids last year with jobs at EB, with careers, benefits package, opportunities for advantage. That's a big deal. The second piece we've done is we've taken the concept of the YMPI program, which is a manufacturing-based program based on largely the defense needs of this sector. And we apply the same concept to the healthcare pathway. We are really lucky to have the partnerships we have with Backus Hospital and Hartford Healthcare. Those 3 programs are EMT programming, CNA program, and the CNA medical interpreter I talked about earlier. I love walking around campus and seeing our kids in the EMT program. EMT is an incredible opportunity for you. This is students pay nothing for it, and it's an EMT certification. The EMT certification is the threshold requirement for all of your jobs in terms of fire and police. So the pipeline there is huge. What we also see happening in this area are kids get into this, and a couple things happen. In the first one you're not gonna like, but it does happen, and I think it's a good thing. Kid gets into the CNA pipeline, has some patient care experience, and goes, you know what, I can't stand this. I can't do body fluids, I can't do blood, and they stop doing it. That's good. I just saved your parent $15,000 of going to college to figure that out. And now you can cross that off the list of not for you. That's obviously not the optimum course, so we want them to love it, but if they love it, we find these kids go on, now suddenly they have the CNA behind them, now they're pushing towards the RN, now they're pushing towards medical school. And that's that opportunity, this cycle that continues to build on itself. Pathways are broader than pipelines, they don't necessarily in a certification, but they give extreme exposure leading to internship and job placement in your junior and senior year. As you know, and those are pictures from the Brick View downstairs, we have a public restaurant on campus. It's open Tuesdays through Thursdays. If you want an unbelievable cheap meal, come on by and we're treated to that. Our menu is all online. It's open to the public. You can come there. Our kids won a really cool competition last year. They went to Dunkin' Donuts Park, participated in a it's called Pro Star, which is very much like you might know the TV show Chopped. Same idea, you have an hour to cook XYZ, kids are doing that. Is it important to me that all these kids end up at Johnson & Wales or end up chefs? Absolutely not. Is it important to me that these kids find passion, purpose, and meaning in their daily school life? Absolutely. That's your high school. That's a unique experience you find at NFA. You can't find that somewhere else. And then obviously we have early childhood education. This is a CDA Associates. This leads towards the preschool certification that is becoming in demand as public schools take that on. We partnered up with the Office of Head Start to create that certification in our school. Healthcare one we've talked about, fire service, CPR, first aid, or other parts of our pathline. This is our programming for our career preparation. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but I just really wanna share this slide. This is called What's Next for Me. When we start as ninth graders, that's the question we start. What's next, what's next, what's next? You don't need to know what's 100 miles down the road. If I ask you right now, what's next for you in 5 years, most of you won't know either. I'm still trying to figure that out. But what's important is I know what's next. I know what's tomorrow. I know what's this year. I know what my targets and goals are. And we start that in ninth grade. I think on Monday.
Monday, yes,
Is it Monday?
yes.
Are you coming?
I'll be there, yes.
You'll be there. Well, that's excellent. Patent, we're gonna start our journey towards being a patent attorney.
Correct.
On Monday, we host a career expo for our ninth graders. We bring in, there'll be between 60 and 80 different industry leaders, and they will be doing a hands-on interactive opportunity with our kids, talking about what they do for a living. If it's as dynamic as being a patent attorney, or it's as interesting as being a police officer, or a veterinarian, or a DJ, they're there to talk to our kids. We want our kids to see themselves in success. That builds into 10th grade where we talk about manufacturing your future. A lot of that has to do with this idea of understanding your aptitude, potential, and interests. 11th grade, we get into bringing in industry leaders where we call it Whose Career Is It Anyway panel. That's kind of, they share their stories about what they do and they guess what it is. By 12th grade, we're doing seminar, senior seminar speed networking. That's again, 35 to 40 different people from some of you participated maybe in that. And you're interviewing our kids for 5 minutes and getting the feedback. Things like this. When I talk to you, please look at my eyes. When I ask you, tell me why I should hire you, don't go, oh, right? Those aren't surefire ways to get jobs. And the more we teach our kids those skills, the more employable and more ready, ultimately leaving us towards job placement. So that's just a little shot of our career preparation. I can keep going on that, but I think probably for the sake of time, we'll keep moving. Talked a lot about the arts at Norwich Free Academy. Norwich Public School kids have these kind of 3 channels to jump into. A lot of these kids cross over from painting to symphonic band to ballet. There's a huge amount of crossover here. I think if you ask me what Norwich Academy does extremely well, I would say it is the arts. Some of that's based on the facilities that are there. And the second piece is the history, and then the faculty in our visual and performing arts is extremely strong. Last year, that was the Peter Pan show. That young lady, I cannot tell you that I am a connoisseur of ballet. That's not my area of strength. But when I watched that show, it was a professional level show done in a professional setting by a group of dedicated, committed kids. What happens next for them is a pretty neat story. kind of landing the plane a little bit here. This is one of my favorite nights of the year. We talk about scholarship opportunities. This is another incredibly unique opportunity of Norwich Free Academy. Because we are partnered with the NFA Foundation, which is a privately endowed foundation, we have the opportunity to give students significant financial aid at the end of their experience. Last year, there was 210 students that were awarded 399 scholarships, totaling over $859,000. Of that 210, Norwich students received 122 Norwich students received about 217 scholarships for just under $400,000. A good, really well-developed scholarship program for a high school program is going to reward between $40,000 and $70,000, just to give you a scope of what this is. These are your kids. This is one of your kids right here, walking across the stage. That's a kid who got to know over time there, and that's a check in her hand. That's a future for her moving forward. You shouldn't go to a school. You certainly shouldn't play a sport either because you want to get a scholarship. But as we think about value, and you guys think about where you send your kids, I would beg you, send your kids to a place that's going to give them value. Value in terms of passion, value in terms of experience, and value in terms of what happens on the next step. You know, our last data point I put on, this comes out of your report here, is we interview, and our school counseling team does an awesome job with this. What's important to me isn't really what you do after NFA, it's that you do it after NFA. So this is kind of where our kids are going, what they're doing. These are Norwich kids, excuse me. And you can see out of the 306 kids right here, you can see the plan for those kids. The effort put on making sure there's a handoff and what happens next. And you know, of course, one of our greatest joys is when our alum come back to us and they tell us those stories. And you know, they inevitably surprise you somewhere where you're downtown and they go, "Hey, Dr. Quinnell," and they're like, they start talking to you, and you know they're about to like ask you, like, "Do you remember my name?" And I'm going, name. And just trying to get to it. I guess that's an educator's nightmare right there, in which we go through. But really proud of our kids. So a lot here. I'm going to kind of end on this slide here. Why NFA? This kind of summarizes why is NFA important in Norwich Public Schools? Why is Norwich Public Schools important in NFA? Because we both believe in academic and career opportunities. We want the best for our kids. We want kids from Kelly to go on to do special things. And we believe in education, and we believe in the best opportunity for education. We believe in student life and experience. We believe that kids should have fun when they're in school. They should enjoy being there. They shouldn't be bored. They shouldn't just have drudgery. It should be an exciting, captivating place for it. And there are places that do that better than others. And the last thing I would say here is you belong here. Our kids belong here. We say this to them. You belong at this school. You belong here. And when you're here, you belong. You are a part, you are a fabric of our community. And I think, you know, I obviously deliver these presentations somewhat similar, not as robust nor as exciting to our other partner districts. But there is no partner district that I go to where Norwich is the name of both places. And I think that's meaningful and significant for a lot of reasons. And I hope tonight, I know when I talk about this stuff, I get excited. I'm excited because the future is bright for Norwich Free Academy, and I believe for Norwich Public Schools. And together, I think there's some next steps that we can take, and I'm looking forward to that. I want to close on a really quick video, and then I'll take questions, but I think this is probably a great way to end this here. That's all I got. Thank you very much and happy to answer questions.
Thank you.
All three of my grandchildren graduated from NFA. Youngest one just graduated from Conn College.
Wow.
The other two have their MBAs. My grandson's working at EB, and he's going to be in charge of the newest, largest submarine that's ever been made, and he's going to be in charge of it. His sister is Department of Revenue Services for the state of Connecticut, and she's probably going to take over the place in a couple of years. And my youngster, who just graduated in May from Conn College, was the #1 tennis player on the girls' team, and they put her on the front page of the Norwich Bulletin saying how girls' tennis was coming back. And for all 4 years, she was the #1 player there. And now she's a teaching pro down at Lime Shores and making more money than the other two.
Oh, congratulations.
Wonderful.
That's an awesome NFA story. Thank you for sharing that.
And by the way, if you walk into Slater.
Yeah.
Look up on the 3rd floor, you'll see this beautiful dollhouse.
Yeah, oh, I love that dollhouse.
Yeah, my wife granted it to the
No kidding.
school, and we just went up there, I don't know, end of last summer, early fall or
Yeah.
something. Because we hadn't seen it up
Yeah,
there.
that's a fantastic,
It's up on the
I have a
3rd
4-year-old
floor.
daughter who's very envious of that, but I won't let her near it, so.
Well, she does have the plastic thing in front. But yeah, at one time we were living in a condo, and we had much more equity in that dollhouse than we did in the condo.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, really, it was over $8,000 to build.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of art. Thank you for gifting.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
Appreciate it. You guys have a great evening. Hopefully,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. You guys appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the chair report. So welcome to the Board of Ed on this chilly evening, December 9th, 2025. Today's National Llama Day and National Christmas Card Day. The art of selecting cards, writing a quick note, and mailing out Christmas or holiday cards seems to be fading into obscurity, although digital greetings are available. But those just don't have the same sense of the holidays as receiving something in first-class mail. Very few people still continue with this tradition. Maybe it's because we're so instantly connected by technology that there doesn't seem to be that need to reach out via snail mail to keep up those connections. Llamas were the pack animals of the South American Andes, and with other camelid relatives, the alpaca and the vicuna, a source of meat and wool before the introduction of the horse and sheep and goats to the Americas. They filled a gap in early Amerindian cultures and continue to serve a role in the high mountains. Today we'll be holding board officer elections at the end of this meeting. I will not be running as I feel that I came in as chair when the district was in crisis, and I used my legal knowledge to guide us to a better place and a solid new beginning. It was a stressful and difficult time for me personally, but I'm glad that I served and hope that my efforts have left us in a much better place than when I assumed the chairmanship. With several trained and experienced educators on the board, I believe that it's time to allow others to step forward and build on our improving student achievement successes by harnessing their knowledge base to advance this board's primary mission, student educational achievement and preparation for the future. Our January meeting will look a bit different with new leadership and possible other cosmetic changes. Finally, I'm very concerned by the events over the past week out of Washington. While there is legitimate debate over the bombing of supposed drug-running boats on the high seas that originate out of Colombia, as to whether these actions by the US military are deemed appropriate or constitute murder, as far as I know, we have not declared war, and drug smuggling is not subject to the death penalty. Events will play out as to a proper outcome. The really harmful actions took place by a group of political appointees in a conference room at the Centers of Disease Control. The unscientific attacks on immunizations for hepatitis B will most likely lead to a change in the health of our youngest Americans. The gains that we've made over the past 30 years against liver disease will probably be reversed and lead to more deaths than any other actions currently undertaken by our military or ICE raids and forced deportations. Plus, there's talk of removing polio vaccines from federal guidelines. It's a foolish attack on science and medicine for which this country was a noted world leader. We must all stand up to these direct attacks against our collective health and lifespans. I ask you all to please stay warm, reach out to your friends and neighbors, and try to do at least one kind act for a stranger during this holiday season. I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and a joyous Kwanzaa. Thank you all. Now a report from Susan.
Thank you, Mark. So I just want to take a moment to recognize Mark for his steady, thoughtful leadership as our board chair during some really challenging times. And we know that leading a board isn't simple, and doing so in the midst of shifting priorities, major district initiatives, and constant change requires strength, patience, and a remarkable sense of balance and humor. And Mark brought all of that and more. So from the moment I stepped into my role, Mark welcomed me without hesitation. His support, his guidance, and his willingness to listen made an enormous difference, and I will be forever grateful for that. He created a space for honest conversations. He kept our focus on students and helped ensure that despite the noise that was around us, that the work kept moving forward. So Mark, thank you for your leadership, your calm presence, and the respect and trust that you have shown along the way.
Thank you.
So for my report, I'm going to begin with Commissioners Network update, Teachers Memorial. It's a question that I get asked a lot by board members. On January 8th, there is a mid-year review with the State Department of Education's turnaround staff. Students, staff, and administrators will be a part of this mid-year by way of interviews with the turnaround staff. The school also sent out a survey to staff and families to get input on their progress, which will be reviewed during that mid-year. So that'll take place on January 8th. Student retention process, that's on the report. This was something that was brought up by Christine, I believe, at the end of last year. So we buttoned up our retention process. There was a lot of discussion since then. So please see the process that's online that was sent to all teachers and administrators recently. It was sent out on November 24th. And let me know if you have any questions about that at all. If you don't have any questions here, I'm always open to questions. You can give me a call or shoot me an
I
email.
would like to ask, I know I spoke to you on the phone about it, with transportation. About when, I don't know how to explain it, when people have issues on what exactly is the responsibility of the board concerning first student employees?
So what is, we don't they don't work for us. So first student is the one that takes care of all personnel issues.
Thank you. I just wanted that answered for the public so that they understand. I don't know who's saying it, but they keep saying the Board of Ed, the Board of Ed, the Board of Ed. And I just wanted to clarify it. If you have an issue with a bus, it's first student. If you're a worker for first student and you have an issue, it's first student you need to talk to. It's not the Board of Ed, it's not Susan. We hired an outside, they run their thing. So I just would like to clarify that for the public.
Yeah, they're a contract employee, just like, say, if we hire a landscaping service and if there's an issue with an individual employee, they would have to contact that company. And
No,
they-
I understand, but
Yes, but I'm
I wanted
just
to make sure that
re-explaining
the
so that
community
everyone
does
understands.
understand because there's not some nice words going around on the street about the Board of Ed and Susan making decisions about employees. And I just wanted to nip that rumor in the bud. It is not the Board of Ed and it is not Susan. It is first student. So if you are an employee at first student and you have an issue, please contact first student and know that it is not our decision for the way they handle anything. You have to look at your handbook and your policy and see what their policies are. Thank you.
And they handle also all the background information and whatnot for their employees.
Thank you, Heather. Hunting, I want everybody to know if Huntington principal vacancy, for those of you who do not know, Principal Marr is leaving for a central office position in another district. And his last day will be December 23rd. And we are in the last stages of interviews and we hope to appoint a new principal in the coming days. Quick preschool update, the new Mahan Smart Start Endowment Classroom opened up on Monday. That was what Senator Austin, if everyone remembers, Senator Austin was able to get us two Smart Start endowments. One started already in Moriarty and this one just started at Mahan. And information has been sent to parents that children must be potty trained to attend pre-K for the 26-27 school year.
What, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Which part? The last part?
Yes.
So information has been sent to parents that their kids need to be potty trained for the 26-27 school year.
Thank you.
About time.
It's about darn time.
And I know that Corey has talked about this before, but Corey sends out plenty of information to support parents in this process. It's not something that we're throwing out there.
Yeah.
She's been doing this all year in a means to support them.
Mhm.
Staff vacancies, we have one, grade 7 math at Kelly. And then the last thing on my agenda, I would like to recommend that we begin the snow buses this week due to the extreme cold weather. I've spoken with our transportation director, Murray Perlow, and we can be ready to do this as soon as Thursday with board approval. The cost will be $3,802.86 for the 9 days that would begin on December 11th. So if that's something that maybe we could bring up at new business, it's my recommendation to do this now instead of waiting for January when we usually do it. That concludes my report.
Okay, that brings us to public comment. Do we have anyone who signed up for public comment?
Yes, Elena Sherman.
Let's see, a little blurb I have to read first. If I can find it. The Norwich Board of Ed values the public comment period as it represents an opportunity for members of the public to express their views to the board on matters within the board's authority. Procedurally, public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person and up to 30 minutes per topic. Comments may be consolidated and given by a group spokesperson. All comments must be directed to the board and not to any individual board member or individual member of the administration. The board and the administration will not respond to questions or engage in dialogue during the public comment period. The board and the administration will determine when and how to address questions that arise during the public comment period. Comments may be submitted via email or in writing at any time. Profanity, raised voices, boisterous conduct, and personal animosity will not be tolerated and may result in the suspension of that individual's speaking privilege. The chair reserves the right to limit public comment at any time so that the board's business may be conducted in a timely manner. Each speaker is asked to give their name and address for the record before starting their remarks.
My name is Alana Sherman and I live at 65 Cedar Street in Norwich. I'm here to urge the board to add humane education to the public school system. This is not the first time I've made this recommendation. The first time in private conversations was after a particularly egregious incident quite a few years ago when then Mayor Peter Nystrom rescued a cat he found with an arrow shot through her. It's no secret that Connecticut cities have a serious issue with animal abuse. The headlines are constant and nausea-inducing. Animals thrown out of car windows, animals starved to death and left in crates in the woods, live fireworks thrown into the kennels of a Southeast Connecticut animal control facility. That was apparently a fun thing to do on the 4th of July. Dogs hoarded to their deaths in private homes, dogs chosen because of their sweet natures, who are used as bait during the training of fighting dogs, themselves victims of abuse. Dogs so neglected that their matted fur has destroyed their skin. The list and the examples are endless. In Norwich right now, most of the publicity and public comment involves household pets, dogs and cats, found dead or maimed by the sides of our roads, uncared for and unclaimed. But make no mistake, these unfortunate animals are probably also victims of abuse or neglect. And just because there have been no headlines recently in Norwich about particularly horrific examples of abuse, it is rational to assume it is happening. These, after all, are voiceless victims who generally suffer in anonymity and in silence. The Connecticut Humane Society offers low-priced humane education for all grade levels. The curricula, which will most likely be embraced by students, includes tips on pet care, education on animal life, personal responsibility and accountability, and building a culture of compassion among our youth. We must begin early, and we must have hope that by educating our youngest will educate and influence their elders. Thank you, and I hope you seriously consider my proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else?
Yes, President Pro Tem Joseph DeLucia.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, I am Joseph A. DeLucia. I am, in fact, the President Pro Tem of the Norwich City Council, 100 Broadway, Norwich City Hall. I am also the current chair of the City Council Board of Ed School Budget Ad Hoc Committee, and I am a member of the School Building Committee. So my remarks tonight. First, congratulations on your election to the city's Board of Education. The faith and the hopes of the community are upon you. It is important for us to note that Norwich Public Schools has turned a significant corner. We have 6 new buildings for the school system in various positions or situations of reconstruction. We are seeing that student performance is increasing and improving by leaps and bounds. and a new solid leadership team joins our dedicated and highly skilled teachers and support staff. There is little time at this important juncture in the city's history for partisanship, for bickering, and for petty squabbles. We must traffic in the truth, and we must use facts as our currency. The city's outlook is bright, but it comes with a warning. Until there is significant growth in the grand list and in the revenue in this city, funding will be tight. I encourage you all to stay engaged with our state and federal legislators and be clear about the district's needs. In closing, welcome to the 2025-27 Norwich Municipal term. Let us all strive to deliver our very best to the people that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Just take a seat.
There's not supposed to
No,
be-
there's no conversation between the board and public speakers. Is there
Say
anyone
thank you,
else?
though.
Melody Davis.
And Jean Oslett is the other party. I'm just a concerned parent, and she's a concerned grandmother.
And could you give your address, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 568 Boswell Avenue.
Thank you.
We're just here on the well-being of her grandchild and my son. I just would love to know what the policy and procedure is when a child is going into school and leaving school. What is the accountability of the school system for our children? I have high concerns. I'm not only a parent, I'm also a foster parent. So I have great concerns. I am really wanting to reach with the school that might reach out with the teachers that my child is at school with. And I struggle with doing that. Not just for my children, but for other children also. I think that we could do better. I think that my child's 3 years old. When he's not with me, he's with another adult that I expect to have his well-being in heart. I take the well-being of children that are in an unhealthy situation that I have concerns with the school system. And I think we could all do better. I think that setting up a meeting when an incident takes place for any child, not just my own child, is imperative. A 3-year-old can't remember 5 seconds from the time he was in a situation. But I expect the adults to. Is that fair? I think that would be fair. 'Cause I would be held accountable just how I expect the school to be accountable. If I could give an example, is that okay?
Sure.
So if my child comes to any of your schools, I have all child's range from 3 to 15. They come with a bruise, a scratch, or something that wouldn't look acceptable in the eyes of the community. I have children placed with me that are removed for less. My question is who's accountable on the school board? And as a parent, shouldn't I feel that my child is safe? Shouldn't they be safe in the school? I'd be held accountable, and I expect the adults that have my children to be held accountable. Is that fair? That's fair. Your grandchildren, your children. Would all of you agree? The adults for the kids, if they're not with their biological, or if they're not with their foster family, the adult in question in the school board should be held liable or responsible. Can everybody agree?
Sorry, we can't respond.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying, I'm sure, I see nods.
Right.
I see nods.
You're asking us to respond, and unfortunately, we're here to listen.
So what could we do better as adults? Because obviously the kids need structure, need us to be those positive reinforcements.
If I, to just sum it up, we're asking if we could just get the clarity in regards to how can we get a talk with the teacher or the principal, which we have done both, but still not get any answers. Or just be able to meet, not wait till 2 or 3 incidents happen, but when something happens so that it can be checked. That's what we wanna do.
And then we could be on the same,
Make a plan,
you know,
something.
we as adults could be on the same level and not be left as questioning if our children are being taken care of.
Or left with the feeling that our child is gonna be getting labeled.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I think that a lot of kids that are put into the school system are labeled, at least from where our experiences are, have been labeled, and I just don't think that it's level across the board.
Okay,
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
all right. Someone from the administration should be in touch with you.
thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Not on the list.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to make some remarks during public comment? Is there anyone else who wishes to come up and speak? And do we have anyone else who wishes to come up and speak for public comment? Hearing none, I now declare public comment closed. Okay, that'll bring us to reports. Report of the acting assistant superintendent, Jamie Bender. I believe she's not here, but Susan has her report.
Yep, we'll just highlight a few things that she wanted me to highlight. So math data, data grade 1, if you see in her report, she wants you to make sure that you notice that. Time fluency, so the results are very favorable for our students. And that she will be sending you the next round of module assessment data as they are completed by grade level, so she'll send it out. We would like to thank Allison Beat, our music coordinator, for her support in sending a flutist, and I think we have a picture, Matt. So his name is Ben Neela Pineda, He was at the swearing-in ceremony. He performed right next to our new mayor and the governor and got to shake hands with the governor, so that was pretty exciting. He played the national anthem on the flute. There he is.
You rarely hear of flute.
It's wonderful.
And it was
It was amazing.
It was really good.
played the
I could sing the whole words to it. I never got lost. That's good. My daughter was a flute player. It's good.
So we were super proud of him. Would also like you to take notice of the music concert schedule this month, which is in her report. And the last thing she wanted me to point out was that the panorama surveys went out for staff, families, and students for each school. And the admin team will be reviewing these results at next week's DLA, it's our Leadership Academy monthly meeting to talk about next steps once we review the results. That concludes Jamie Bender's report.
I believe NFA's on that schedule. They're gonna be at Kelly at the auditorium.
And if
Here.
it on in her report,
I'm not sure if it's in her report.
I don't know anything about that. I have her agenda up right now. I did not see
I don't
NFA
know if
there.
it's in December or in the spring. It might be in the spring. I may have been looking ahead.
So if you look at her report, it shows every school what the date and the time is for the performances.
Couple comments first, attendance, reading through the report on the improvement of the attendance, we are now, last year, 20.11, and the chronic absentee rate right now is 15.36. So we made a significant increase in terms of attendance. It's actually a difference of 142 students, which is a darn good thing and heading in the right direction. And I had one other question, well, I got two actually. Fine arts, I see fine arts mentioned a number of times available to kids. Who participates in the fine arts program? How is it determined who participates?
So you're talking about the fine arts at the middle schools?
Yes.
So they have visual, I think if Brandy or Ed wants to talk a little bit about the fine arts, if you wanna come up. I know that we equalized it over the summer to
Yeah.
make sure that both schools had equal opportunities. I love putting them on the spot, so this is great.
I only asked that so they would be on the spot.
I know you did, I like this.
Gotcha. Just saying.
I didn't know we were supposed to wear green tonight, I apologize for that.
Check your emails.
Did them burgundy too and black.
We're trying to make everything like equitable at the two middle schools, and we've been working together over the last 2 years. So we have a couple of classes that we offer now, like we just brought back chorus to teachers this year. We have about, I think, 90 students that are involved in that, between the three grades, along with our band. In addition, we offer, we have 2 different music classes for students that are maybe not, interested in playing an instrument as well, to expose students with different curriculum, to give kids opportunities to learn. One of our classes that Miss Altman teaches is she created a music history class. She starts in the 50s. I would have started a little bit earlier, but that's just my take on music. But the kids like it, so it's something good that they're engaged in during the school day.
We have band as,
Go ahead, Lynn, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead.
we have band as well. I think we have over 200 kids in band. Band is one of the favorites of the students here. We have chorus as well at every grade level. And we have the media arts, which you have media arts as well. We have fine arts. I think, but we also have theater arts because we have the theater here.
Which we've incorporated as well, so we have she's incorporated some theater work, public speaking, into the 7th grade curriculum. So we have 3 different curriculums for the 3 grade levels, so when kids rotate through each year that they're teachers, they get exposure to something different.
And we have music tech too, which is a creative music opportunity for students as well.
And then you also have regular art classes like
The fine arts.
the fine arts, painting,
Clay.
clay, sculpture, whatever.
And I just asked
That's
that
in every
because I have
elementary.
after watching, you know, Nate's presentation on the availability of roads and music and all that, and to see that we're now doing all of that, it's a great thing. That just sets the kids up for success later, so thank you.
I know they've made comments at the NFA board meetings that they, you know, they're very happy with our eighth graders. They're a huge feeder into their music program. And the kids come, you know, fairly well trained from our eighth grade programs.
Well, I'm so happy that you have this music program. Plato once said that children should be taught physics, philosophy, and music, but above all, music, because music and all the arts discipline the mind. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ed, thanks.
Nice job on the spot.
Thank you.
Last question, or last comment. Happy to see the teen outreach program. Don't know that much about it, but I'm looking at 94 students being involved in a program to develop social emotional learning, risky behavior, et cetera. That's good stuff. Good stuff. So thank you all.
Okay, brings us to the report of Director of Student Services, Dr. Lisa Hughes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to be brief. On our report this evening, I do have a save the date. Mr. Iovino had a great idea and suggestion to bring some of our district partners in to visit Rose City School, our therapeutic program. And so our Rose City School folks will be here at the board meeting in January. And we are going to be doing a coffee and kind of event right at Rose City. So hopefully if you have the opportunity to pop in and join us, it'll be one of several events that we're planning. And we're really excited about that, and so is the team. So things are going really well there. We're growing, as you know. We are also growing in our school resilience program. So those two options right now, with a very dedicated staff, hardworking on trying to find different solutions for our students. Really proud of the work they're doing. So I hope you can join us for some coffee and conversation at Rose City School in January, which is coming soon. Also, I wanted to highlight a little bit about our behavior team. We now have a coordinator of our behavior team. That's Jackie Rosado. Jackie's been with us for quite a bit of time previously, and then came back to district and has been just remarkable in her role to assist us, especially in our special programs in district. She has a real expertise in that area, so we're really pleased to welcome her in the new role of coordinator of that team. And this month, especially, that team has been working on developing additional training for our para educators as they're onboarded, having a system in place, looking over what our 3-2-1 insight training has been for our para educators, and then filling in gaps in that. They've been working on producing different materials for our schools, and in particular, our new Huntington Strive classroom has come online. So that's 3 of those particular classrooms at Huntington. So our needs are great, and our behavior team is really stepping up to assist our teachers, our building admin, our school community in meeting the needs of students in our classes. So I just wanted to make sure to give a shout out to that team, and also to congratulate Jackie on her new leadership role. In student services, we're going to be working specifically over the next several months in reviewing IEP quality. We have 3 IEP coordinators whose sole role is to support our special educators in IEP development. And we're going to be doing a deep dive, as they say, in making sure that services and IEP alignment is in place. and to look for any clarification that's necessary for our special educators and see if there's any opportunity for us to do additional professional development to assist them. And then I just wanted to end on letting you know that our Parents with a Purpose group, led by Cindy Beauregard and a couple of our parents who just are wonderful, had their first in-person event last month, which was nicely attended. And we are scheduled to have another in-person event this week. So that group is as well going very well. A lot of dedicated families, and it does serve a nice purpose of having a support for our families of students with disabilities. And that is all. Happy to answer any questions you may have. And I should just, as I always do, forget Laura Dietrich, and I never mean to, in my report, and I had it right here, just to let you know that she does update that for you each month. And lots going on in the school nursing office. I pop in every time I'm in the buildings to see them. They're working very hard, always busy.
So Lisa, I just wanna add, I think you know this, that someday I wish I could sit where Lisa uses and be the director of special education, because I love that so much. I do get the chance to go over to see the Rose City school programs, and whenever I get into the schools, see our substantial, our STRIVE programs and our team programs, and it's really tough work, and I'm really so proud of that department and all they've done. And so I really do hope you take advantage of going to see Rose City School to see how we are keeping our kids in district, how important it is. And some of the parents I get to see text to some of our the lead, Josh Vanoski over there, of a parent that's so grateful the child is having so many challenging times in the regular classroom, and sometimes they need something else. And to see these texts that these parents send and how relieved they are and how well and how happy and proud they are of places like Rose City School makes me really proud. So thank you, Lisa.
And I also should introduce, next is Mixed News Bob.
Oh, no.
Lisa,
New designation this evening.
yeah,
New
Lisa,
designation.
Oh, there's another there's a question first.
yeah,
Sorry.
first, for you, Lisa, which schools have the STRIVE program? Are they in all the schools or just
Not in all the
particular ones?
schools. You're gonna quiz me.
Yes.
Okay.
I can answer.
Okay, we have Huntington, Huntington Strive, Stanton Strive, Mahan Strive,
Kelly.
and of course the middle school, yes. And at Kelly, our special programs are localized here at the school. So we've added a new section of our STRIVE program, which is programming for students on the spectrum. And, our goal is to consider in the future, perhaps as part of Rose City, a specialized program for students with autism.
So how many total classrooms are we talking across the 4 schools?
7, 8.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I just went blank.
All right, that brings us to Bob's report on the business of the district.
Business of the business. I want to thank Lisa for that wonderful introduction. So tonight I'm going to talk about one item, and it's net tuition expense. In the last year or two, tuition has become our single largest expense. This year's budget of $37,849,000 is 39.2% of our budget. That $39 million number is a net number that reflects the excess cost grant, reimbursement grant we get from the state, which is around 2.6 million, and the tuition revenue that comes into the district from Lisa billing out districts who send their students to NTA in the Rose City School. So Nate from NFA gave a wonderful presentation on the importance of NFA to Norwich. I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of NFA from a dollar standpoint. NFA regular education budget is 20.8% of our budget. Another way of looking at that is for every $5 we spend, $1 goes to educating a Norwich student at NFA in the regular education program. That's significant. We always know what the actual expense is gonna be for the coming budget year because we're billed 1 year in arrears. Now, enrollment this October 21st of 25 compared to the previous year, NFA on the regular education side has a decrease of 66 students. So if I were to take that 66 student number and multiply it times the current tuition rate, NFA is gonna be losing $1,025,000 in revenue. So if I look at NFA purely from a business model, I'm assuming they need that money to operate as NFA. They might have program cuts and staff cuts, but I don't think they're gonna look to reduce by $1 million. So if everything stays whole and they don't have any other reductions, I did a back of the envelope calculation. NFA would need to raise their tuition rate next year by 3.3% just to make up that $1 million. So I'm assuming they, like us, have wage increases, contractual increases, utility increases, so on and so forth. So we could be looking at a 5 to 6% increase for NFA realistically. So if I look at this year's current budget rate and keep it the same for next year, when we're also working on the 26-27 budget right now. So one of the big numbers is NFA and what should we budget for a price increase. If I keep the budget number the same, that would allow the district to absorb an increase rate of 5.4% from NFA without adding $1 to our budget. So that's kind of a good budget sense from a standpoint. The bad news is if NFA goes up that much, it's gonna affect us in future years. So that's where I'm leaning on next year's budget, is keeping the dollar value the same. If it comes in less than that, that would be wonderful. So we do have a decrease. On the special ed side, NFA's budget this year is 9.4 million. So if you add the two together, we're just shy of $30 million. So they are probably the single most influential cost factor in our budget. So December 1st, the special education department submitted the initial filing for our excess cost grant. Our initial estimate using 75% reimbursement rate is that we would receive 2.6 million in revenue to offset tuition expenses and outside services. That compares to a budget amount of $2,579,000. So right now, we wouldn't be looking at a huge shortfall or gain on that revenue grant. Of course, that's all subject to change. It all depends. The amount of money available for reimbursement is the same as last year. So if special education costs rise dramatically across all districts, we could get less than 76, 75%, could drop to 70%. And again, that's been the single largest budget topic talked about in the state, is the cost of special education and the excess cost grant. So in your packet, you have a summary sheet, and October 1st is usually the billing date, and all of our districts send us our bills by then. We haven't received all of the magnet school tuition bills from New London yet, so we're about missing $60,000 worth of bills. But year to date, on the bills that we have, the budget was $31.5 million, and with in total $174,000 under budget. So that's the good news. For our budget, we're under budget by $170,000. The bad news is outplacements, the high-cost students that go out of district. We've had several students move into the district who were already in outplacements, and they're high-cost placements that are not easily brought back into the district. So that's causing a negative variance in those total placements of almost $1.6 million. So when we net everything together, if there are no changes, we could be looking at a net total deficit of 1.1 million in tuitions. So I was looking at high cost students, and I looked at the top 10 highest cost students this year versus the 10 of last year. And the cost includes tuitions, special services like OT, PT, any aids, and transportation. So this year's top 10 cost students based on the December 1st filing total $2,567,000, or an average of $256,000 per student. Comparing that to last year, the average was $230,000. So that's an 11.2% increase in the cost per student on the high cost sides. Our budgets don't go up 11%. So that's a discouraging trend that continues to go forward. And if I look at the dollar range for those 10 students, last year the range was $186,578 for the 10th student, and the highest cost student was $266,831. This year it ranges from $206,000 up to $310, and 8 of those 10 students are the same students. So that tells you the cost of delivering the cost of education from students that are outside of Norwich Public Schools is continuing to rise at an unsustainable rate. And the majority of these students are at the high school level age. Lisa and I are working together to get even further inside the numbers. So that's going to be, as Joe DeLucia mentioned, one of the significant challenges that Susan and Lisa and other administrators will be working with our legislators to try and address this. Please fund us at 100% of excess cost, and continue to fund things that are important, like the seed grant. Make sure that goes on beyond 2 years.
But that's not a unique situation to Norwich. That's statewide. And so basically special education costs are going up double digit, and it's just outstripping, inflation or the average increase in school budgets as compared to general education.
I look to where Norwich is because of the efforts of Susan and Lisa and our special services department in creating the Rose City School. We would be even in a worse situation when it comes to outplacements, with the tuitions that we've avoided by keeping students in district and bringing them back. Last year, we had, I think, a $670,000 net improvement to the budget because of that, and it's gonna be an even bigger number this year.
Another issue too, along with that, just to tag on to what Bob is saying, is that we've had students who were not in placement yet, were awaiting placement. It took a while to kind of find a placement for a group of students. I think we were about 5 students now in placement, so that now shows differently on the financial side because they're in placement as of now. So, and then as Bob mentioned, students coming into Norwich already in a placement. We've really worked very hard in elementary and middle school, obviously we're pre-K through 8, to keep our students here in district, to put a stop on as much as possible sending students out of district. And Rose City has been instrumental in that.
Yeah.
So it's students that have had significant placements for many years, and they're much older, they're in high school, or NFA cannot meet their needs, that kind of thing that we're finding is happening.
John?
2 questions actually. Magnet schools. What sort of tuition do we pay for students to go to the London magnet schools? What's the tuition?
It depends, I don't know if I have it detailed by school. I can email that to you. I have a breakdown of the tuition by every school. The nice thing about the tuition rates, a year ago, legislation was passed that capped the magnet school tuition, so the rates haven't gone up last year or this year. They've been frozen at a particular rate.
And there's transportation with that as well?
Well, the district doesn't transport to the magnet schools anymore. I think we would, except for the students who are already in a program when they're done.
If they're special education students, we have the transport.
And the magnet school total budget was about $550,000.
Last question, you mentioned NFA down 66 Norwich?
66 Norwich regular education students this October to the previous October.
Is that because the pool of eighth graders is less, or we have kids going to other high schools?
I think we had a few that might have gone to Griswold or another school, because Griswold's enrollment is up slightly. I remember a year ago having a discussion with NFA's CFO, and he had indicated that they had a concern with, I believe it was last year's senior class
Bigger number.
was a higher number.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you looked at the demographics of the 4 grades, there were 3 that were within, 10 students of each other, and then one had a big blurb, and I think that's a grade that's leaving.
They just graduated.
Yeah.
Well, the pool of Norwich eighth graders, I think this year, the percentage that was going to NFA was lower than it had been in a couple of years previously. So that percentage is dropping, total numbers dropped a little bit, but what really hurt was the percentage of our students that elected to go to NFA is declining also. And what's really hurting NFA also is the visa problems for international students. So they're way down on internationals.
The paying 1 year in arrears is really helpful from a budget standpoint, because if you recall, I think it was 3 years ago, either 2 or 3 years ago, NFA's tuition rate went up by 7.25%. But that also coincided with an increase in enrollment. So not only was the district bearing the burden of a higher tuition rate, we were paying it on more students. Next year, we have the benefit of paying for 66 fewer students. And if NFA had a methodology for finding revenue, we'd be possibly having $1 million reduction to our budget, but I don't ever see that happening, because they're gonna need that money to come from somewhere, and their main source of revenue is tuition. The good thing is, there's 8 other surrounding towns, we're 72% of the enrollment, so that means the other towns are gonna pay 28% of this shortfall, because they will pay the higher rates too. They won't like that, but that's just economic reality.
Okay, thank you.
And they've been heavily marketing themselves to all the sending towns, so trying to grab as many of those eighth graders as possible.
Yeah, and see, the problem that could impact us is a small town like Voluntown. They have NFA and Griswold as their 2 high schools. Griswold could absorb all the kids that go to NFA in Griswold, and if it became an economic issue for the town, they could do that. They could eliminate NFA as a choice. We can't do that because there's no school in the area that could take our 1,400 or 1,500 students. Preston could go to Ledyard or Stonington, so they have options. NFA and Norwich public schools have to work together, because we need them as much as they need us.
Yeah, the total tuition rate that you quoted earlier for NFA, that was just general ed, that
Yes.
wasn't special ed.
Just total general education. The special ed budget was 9.4 million, and that's in your packet. And actually, this year.
And was special ed down or up
It's
this year?
down 100, and we're, I think, 100 and, I'll tell you in 1 second. We're actually $291,000 under the budget on special education at NFA, so that was good.
Yeah.
Well, last year we were, I think, 1.4 million over budget.
But as he showed on the chart, Nate showed, we're 93% of the special ed department at NFA. All right. So mixed news.
Yes.
Better than bad news.
Okay, it brings us to new business. You'll see first reads on various policies, and we'll get a a breakdown from the policy committee, or you wanna cover the first reads now?
Well, it's, go ahead, Kevin, and then I
No.
will answer a question that people asked a question, at the last policy meeting, so go ahead.
Oh, yes, that's
Is
the
that what you
question
wanted?
concerning that.
You want me to talk about the social media?
Yep, social media and then the policy regarding
Sex
prohibition, sex discrimination.
So at our last policy meeting, there were a couple of questions that I had to look into. So social media policy series 4,000. One of the questions the policy committee wanted to know is if the school community that the policy is referring to extended to board members or just to actual employees of the district. The answer is our model policy from Shipman applies to district employees. Some boards have revised their bylaws to address social media activity of board members. That was the answer I got back from legal. And then for the sex discrimination and sexual harassment, there was a question because they wanted to know which governing authority would take precedence to the case, federal or Connecticut law. And the answer that we received from legal is that this is a very complicated question. Lawyers' favorite answers, by the way, Mark. Very complicated. In short, school districts have obligations under state law to ensure that they do not discriminate on the basis of gender identity or expression, but the federal government has announced and has taken enforcement actions against school districts for implementing certain practices that allow students to access their educational programs or facilities based on gender identity rather than biological sex. So if an issue arises, we would have to consult with our legal team to get some advice if something like that should come up.
Well, I know the federal government has even put forward things like for passports now, you can only declare male or female, you can't choose an other or transgender or anything. So they've changed all the federal rules.
I believe those were the only two questions, Kevin, correct?
Correct. Thank you, sir.
But we're under obligation to follow both federal and state, and if the state is the more restrictive rule, we have to follow the more restrictive rule. So we have to comply with state law, but what that does to endanger any of our federal funding, I don't know.
We will lose federal funding if we do not follow federal law. It happened during Biden, it's gonna happen during Trump, it's gonna happen during the next president, it's gonna happen during the next president. That's the way politics work.
Yeah.
So just the first reads.
Yep, just first reads. And we'll vote on it in January.
All right, so you've got all the policies, just and if you have any comments, forward to either Kevin or Susan before the next meeting, so.
Before we move on to unfinished business, would this be the best time to bring up a motion to start the snow walker policy immediately as opposed to in January?
Sure.
Yes. So I'll make a motion to begin offering bus transportation to all
Well,
our.
we have to change the agenda first.
Oh, I'll make a motion to change the agenda to include offering bus transportation to our snow walkers immediately as of Thursday, December 11th.
And do I have a second?
Yeah, it's so dark cold out.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, the motion for changing the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, it is unanimous. Okay, now you can propose your motion.
I will make a motion that Norwich Public Schools begin offering bus transportation to our snow walkers as of Thursday, December 11th.
Second.
Can you repeat that?
So Norwich Public Schools will begin offering bus transportation to the students who we have referred to as our snow walkers, those who live within 1.5 miles, as of Thursday, December 11th.
So essentially, we're adding the 9 days in January as opposed to starting out
9 days in December.
in December, I mean, as opposed to starting in January. January 5th, right, was
Yeah.
when we come back. Okay. So we have a first, we have a second? Okay, any objection,
I have a question.
yeah, questions, yes, go ahead, John.
It's gonna cost some money.
Yeah, I think, Bob, did you give a?
$3,200.
I gave.
Oh, Susan gave the
A
figure.
little over 9,000.
No,
It's $3,802.86 for 9 days beginning on 12/11.
$3,000.
$3,802.86. I got that today from Maria.
All right,
So if we can.
3,800.
If we can make that kind of a change for this reason, why can't we make the same kind of change for the people, the lady whose son got hit by the car and now the other, and they want to cross the road in front of, Walmart. And they go out.
That's not a fact.
It's not a fact, they don't get
It's a
picked
different-
up there.
It's a different issue, Dennis. First of all, it's a different issue. The Briar Hill thing was a safety concern of a bus stop. This is to enable students that are walkers that live over a mile and a half from NFA that walk every day. We had started January, February, March, giving them so they didn't have to walk in the cold. And we got the polar vortex, whatever the hell that is, coming down and sitting on us. We've got cold 2 weeks coming up. So we're offering the opportunity for those students to have an extra 2 weeks of walking. Two different issues. So this is a weather-induced issue. The other one was bus stop established that we've dealt with and safety concerns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's how I see it as two different issues.
This is also a policy change that will apply to all students. It's not
Not just that.
a subset of students.
That's right.
So how much would it cost to make that change
To make what change?
of what I just said?
To change the bus stop at Briar Hill.
Yeah, I mean, they have to go further out and then come back. So why can't they just pick them up on their way out and then come back?
Briar Hill has been investigated and it's safe. Some of those stops that they're saying are not. It's been checked by our safety officer. People have walked out there. We have made changes for Briar Hill.
Plus, it's also a timing issue too, because that first bus that picks up the high school students, it has to come back and pick up middle school, and it has to pick up elementary students, so it's on like 3 different loops. So it would throw timing off for the rest of the schedule. So it's not just an isolated one bus issue, whereas the NFA buses, which the winter buses, they pick up at NFA, but it services both NFA students and the tech students who come down by a shuttle bus from tech to NFA, and then they grab that winter bus. So then they're able to, it shortens the distance that they would have to walk to go home.
And the Briar Hill issue is part of a bigger picture. Because we begin that process, there's gonna be 10 other, I'll be careful how we say it, 10 other stops that people are gonna look to, hey, what about us, what about us, what about us? So it comes a point in time where we have a policy in place that we're following the policy. Once we get outside that and open that door, then we're coming in, that's all. I don't know how else to say it. And it's, yeah, when you asked the initial cost on the walk bus, that would be nothing compared to 10 other stops and routes having to be changed, adding buses, paying more time. That would be a huge number. And we made those decisions based on trying to work with a 1% budget increase, to be honest with you. So. All right, we vote?
Yeah, we,
I had just one question, the additional 3,800, what sort of, because we're adding additional days for the, the snow walker, so what impact does that have on the budget? Is it negligible?
$3,300 that we weren't gonna spend. I mean, we're a $96 million budget and every dollar is important, but a small change like that, we usually can deal with.
See, with all the bus changes we had before, we
Yeah,
had
we're saving
savings,
money.
so now we're just taking it kinda out of that savings, I'm assuming.
Yep, no, Heather's right, and then also I just wanna let everyone know too, is that Maria with First Student, last year we had 2 snow buses, and we were able, because we did more group stops in those areas, we were able to just use 1 bus. So the new number we have, it was about $48,000 last year for the snow buses for those 3 months, which we would have to put 5% on top of that for this year. This year, because we only need to use 1 snow bus, so Heather's correct. We can talk about how we saved money and then add this. So we are, for January through March, it would have been $24,507.32. So if we add the $3,800, that's a total of $28,310. So we are saving money, like Heather
Yes,
said.
to Susan's point, the total snow bus cost this year will be less than last year, and we didn't budget for a reduction, so it can be absorbed.
so we had 24,000 difference, a delta from last year to this year, so we can absorb that.
those extra.
On this line item,
3,800
yes.
And still save 20 grand.
And we've saved money with the group bus stops as well.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ella, so that I could. give you
Plus
totals.
it helps, kids from walking in sub-zero wind chills
And the dark,
and in the dark, yeah, with the, absolutely.
It's the darkest time of year.
All right, are we, any further discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? 1 abstention. So 8 in favor, 1 abstention. Okay. Brings us to our next, where are we? Unfinished business, the calendar.
Second read.
So did we have any changes for the calendar after discussion with the teachers and administrators?
Nope.
Nope.
Both approved.
Okay, good. We all set, could I have a motion to approve the calendar as presented?
I make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Other seconds, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is unanimous. Brings us to committee reports. Negotiation, no negotiations scheduled. Our next one would be, I believe, custodians. And most likely February, March time period.
Okay, forgive me,
Yes,
there's 8 first readings. How do we get them?
they're in the agenda.
You just click on it.
Oh,
They're as attachments to the agenda.
right here.
You click on one of those and then it will show up over here.
So you'll be able to use your sign-in that you used tonight. You'll be able to go into board docs. And with your sign-in that you set up for tonight, username and password, you'll be able to access those at home. Yes.
Even without a sign-in, if you go to Norwich Public Schools website,
Right.
Board of Education site, and then to board docs, anybody in the public can access this. This is not
It's only
executive
if
or
it's
restricted, yeah.
executive session that you can't.
So even without signing in, you can access the first reads.
Okay.
Okay, school building, want to give, is there any quick update for,
Moving along.
The only
moving
thing
along?
I can say is that I drove by the Greenville site last week and had a nice chat with the project manager there. And it's unbelievable. What, I mean, I've been going pretty regularly, but even with all the, you know, the work that they've had to do to prep the area, they're still running on time and they're all positive about what's going on, but it's just amazing what they've had to do.
They've poured some
there.
concrete footings already?
Pardon?
Have they poured concrete footings already?
They were starting them last week.
Okay.
And then at the Stanton site, I didn't get to chat with anybody, but that is just, you know, it's the way it's coming around. It's just,
Yeah,
everybody
the
should
sheathing is already going
have
up,
a
so
chance,
you can
yeah,
actually
take
see
a
the
chance to
envelope of the
stop by,
building.
'cause it's just, it really is, to see it coming to fruition. It's like
And our,
marvelous.
and then the last week, naturally, the building committee, and then we had the special meeting, so we both approved the plans for
Yes, I
Moriarty
missed that.
and Uncas, so.
I
So
really
that
miss that
should be, and then that was getting submitted to the state, I think, on the 18th. They have a meeting. Yes, Joe.
So the Greenville project is actually behind schedule by a little more than a month.
Oh,
But
you didn't say that.
Yeah, well, because of all the extensive blasting that they had to do, that was unanticipated. The first footings were poured, and the contractor, Downs Construction, feels confident that they'll be able to make up that excess blasting time throughout the schedule.
That's probably why you said it was on
So
time.
blasting
'cause I
is
spoke
over
to him.
there, right? Now it's just drill and hammer, correct?
Yeah.
Blasting is principally complete. There might be a little bit more up on the top. The second two schools, one is slightly over budget, one is slightly under budget, so that essentially as a pair, they are on budget.
They're on budget.
Right.
And the committee's ready to move forward on the last two, the big one being teachers middle school. And then the conversion of Huntington into the central office and adult ed. There is a little bit of concern on the reimbursement on that particular project because adult ed does not fall under the school building umbrella for reimbursement the way a K through 12 school does, or pre-K through 12 school does. But we're gonna have to work on that a little bit, maybe some special legislation.
Yeah, but I think we could probably get around that a little if, through our legislators and say, hey, it's not just for Norwich's benefit, it's a regional benefit. And, you know, try, because that's the state's big thing is trying to bring in regionalization. So that facility, the adult ed serves the entire region as opposed to just Norwich's benefit.
Those are political arguments that.
Right,
the
yeah,
state-
that's why I say
state,
it's gotta go
the
through the
AA
legislature.
And school building, you know, they have their policies and procedures and they're going to follow them, but we should be okay.
Thank you.
And then, well, from the approvals that we just made with Uncas and Moriarty, that was approximately 1.5 million combined under the projected budget. But, you know, between now and the time it actually gets constructed, who knows what the figure's gonna be. Okay, policy committee?
The policy committee met December 1st. All the policy that's listed here is for first read, and we will vote on it next month.
Okay, transportation, Greg?
There's been no meeting since the last Board of Ed meeting that we had. But as you all know, we did just extend the snow walker policy by 2 days. There is also, Maria has a brief report about the tracking app. I forget what it's called now.
First student.
Yeah, in the.
I mean, the first view, or view. What is it?
First view.
First view.
First view.
And that is in the, under the report of the business administrator, so that also could be read.
Okay. And IDCS?
So I gotta I already did do that. So for IDCS, the governing board met on November 19th. The school counselor, it's just one building district, so they have one school counselor, gave their annual counseling report, and it was impressive to see the great detail that she went through to talk about all of the various ways that she's touching the various students at the school and the things that she was doing. I think it was something that was really helpful for the board and for the public that was there to understand what mental and social health support is provided and needed by our students. So something like that in Norwich Public Schools could also be a valuable thing. There were 2 students from the Rose City Robotics team that shared what they've been learning and what they've been doing, and they made a request to the IDCS board for funding. It's a middle school program open to current middle schoolers and also recent IDCS graduates. The students did a really nice job at speaking about all the things that they're learning, including finance and public relations and collaboration. And they asked for help to fund professional development for coaches and supplies and uniforms and competitions. Their first competition is on December 20th. They have money for the competitions that are planned, but they are behind the 8 ball in terms of having the equipment and materials to really be competitive. So they're trying to fund building better robots. So they're fundraising for that. In the director's report is mostly focused, the big part of that was personnel. There's a really good pool of subs at the school right now. But there are some changes to the regular teaching staff there. There's a teacher that's out on long-term medical. There's another one that went out on maternity. There's another teacher that left for another opportunity. So there's a few new teachers in the district and some people, covering for each other. That's something they're struggling with. They reported the need and difficulty with getting UCFS behavioral support. They're on a wait list that they're not getting seen as often this year as last year because UCFS just on the whole is that much more busy. And there was a mention of a thank you to both Susan and Heidi for speaking at the charter renewal. That was powerful and awesome. They were renewed for 5 years, and it was great to see just the broad support for the renewal of their charter. The business manager, who is the former director, Ellen Rattel, is working tenaciously to get money for the expansion projects of the Mason House, also the field project they're working to build, and the science building project. So there's a few things they have going right now in terms of expanding the school. Specials report cards, they're experimenting with that they're going to be going out only electronically. The report cards go with the kids home. There's a specials report card that's kind of inserted with that. They're trying to see the feasibility of moving towards the report cards going home electronically. Student-led conferences are this week at the end of the week. They do student-led conferences as opposed to parent-teacher conferences. And suspensions are down dramatically this year up to this point compared to last year. Only 1 out of school and 3 in school so far this year. The teacher's ability to build relationships and deal with problems was highlighted as a key to that success. The athletic director at the school is creating an athletic handbook to try to be proactive about the issues that come up in terms of communication, behavior, and other things that are happening with the sports teams. And there was a shout out to her for all the work that she's doing to build the sports program at the school. They also have a new school store that just opened up this year. And it is also a fundraiser where the school gets 10% of all of the things that are bought and purchased from the school store.
Learn?
Learn report is the same one that I talked about last month. They meet on Thursday, so the report that's included in the agenda is the report from last month.
Okay. Otis Sliver.
I was unable to attend the last board meeting, so Otis, a festival was a big hit, I know that much.
Okay.
I wasn't able to attend the recent board meeting.
So the festival and then the celebrity parking too they had, right?
Had a blast. Oh, yeah, great time.
The NFA report, they met the same night as we had our BOE November meeting, so couldn't attend that. And the foundation they had no December meeting that was canceled. So that concludes reports. Okay, you have the additional reports in your packet. We have the year-to-date budget, Bob just covered. Personnel. The big thing there was the high, you're in the process for the second interviews for the Huntington
We've
principal.
done second interviews, we're
Oh,
going
okay.
on third interviews.
Oh, third interviews, okay, great. And then enrollment, total enrollment, I think, is fairly close to what it was last year. Okay, brings us to election of officers. Being as I am not running this year for officer position, if no one has any objections, I'll run the election for the officers. Under our bylaws, we must elect a chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary. All votes must be done by written ballot. And I'll read that section. The votes of each member cast in such election shall be by written ballot and made available for public inspection within 48 hours, excluding Saturday and Sunday, legal holidays, and shall be recorded in the minutes of such meeting taken, which minutes shall be available for inspection at reasonable times. If such officers are not chosen after 1 month from the date on which newly elected members take office, because of the vote of members, the city council shall choose which officers from the membership of the board. Officers shall hold their respective offices for 2 years until their successors are duly elected. So, with that being said, nominations for chair. Do I have any nominations for?
Nominate John
chair?
Iovino.
Second.
Okay, are there any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? Okay, just fill out your ballot. And I believe we'll probably have to do a tally for the position to eliminate John from any further office if he chooses to so run. So just,
So we hand these in and then take them back?
I think so.
What?
No,
No.
no, he's the only one, so.
The only ones, I don't think we
So
have.
even if he voted for himself, he would be it, okay.
Yep, we'll just do all the offices.
Okay, vice chair.
I'll nominate Greg Perry for vice chair.
Okay,
Kevin Satani, I will second.
all right,
I'd like to nominate Kevin Satani.
okay,
And I'd like to nominate Heather.
okay. So we have 3 running. Greg,
Need a second for
We
those?
need seconds for the
Seconds
two of them.
for Heather and for Kevin.
do we have a
Open
second for
Ego.
Kevin?
Seconds, Kevin Satani.
Well, I'll second for Kevin.
All right. And then for Heather, do we have a second?
I'll second for Heather.
Okay,
Excuse me,
All
but
right.
did Heather just nominate and second Kevin Saita?
No, she did. I made a joke and then it,
yeah. No, second came from Christine. Yeah. Okay, so let's, so we have of the 3, any other nominations from the floor? All right, so it's Greg, Kevin, or Heather, so please write in your choice. Now you'll have to hand in your paper and
You can do the
Yeah, the secretary.
And then hand Holland at the end.
Okay, we can do this. All right, let's do it that way then. Secretary, any nominations from the floor?
I nominate Chris Milton.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right, seconded by Christie. Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary? Okay, so Chris is the only one running, so please vote. And you will have to sign and put your name on the ballot, because remember, these will be collected and these will be available for public inspection if so requested.
Yeah, no duplicates.
Oh wait, she's coming around the back. Can I make a quick announcement while Heather is rounding them up?
Yeah, okay.
I wish I had done this when we had a fuller room, but I just wanted to remind everybody about our loft, you know, that is located, well, I know, first, let me just say, I'm aware that many of us are stretched thin at this time of the year or have already made charitable contributions for the season. But I wanted to remind everyone about our Norwich Public Schools loft located at the Adult Education Building at 191 Hickory Street. They have food and clothing for families in need, but there is an immediate need right now for hygienic supplies. I was just informed of that this past week, particularly deodorant, shampoo, and conditioner. Of course, coats are always welcome, especially adult coats right now are desperately in need. And of course, toys, used toys, whatever. And please stop by there if you get a chance. Jalissa, as you know, is in charge of it. I thought she was gonna still be here. But she's done a marvelous job organizing it all and spending a lot of extra hours of her own, even, and her husband too, helping, you know, on weekends. And they're even having kids come in to get their community hours. They're trying to, and people on staff that have to fulfill hours. She connected with DSS and everything, you know, so it's quite something, but you know, we have a lot of people accessing there. You know, you figure we have more than 20 McKinney-Vento families, and I believe that number has grown. So there's a desperate need. If you're out shopping, you know, grab a couple extra shampoo and conditioners. She'll even arrange to pick it up from you, or you doesn't have to be the set times that are listed on here on the brochure. Did she leave those brochures, Amber, do you know?
I don't think so.
But you know, she's Norwich Public Schools, so you know her address is on the website. I mean, her her address is on the website. But you know, generosity starts at home, as they say, right? A lot of us give to other things. And I think we need to do more at home. That's it. Thank you.
Is there a convenient way that we can communicate to people to make monetary donations through a link or?
Through the link, but see, that's why, yeah, and that's right online.
Yeah, I found this through the website, the
Yeah, it's
brochure is
right
on
on
there,
the
but I had to go
website,
through a couple of layers of clicking through different
Do you
menus.
have hours there also?
Yeah, the hours are right on here. It's on
The hours are also
website.
listed on-
See, and
on the
that-
door.
Right now, it's only Wednesdays 9 to 1 and Thursdays 12 to 4, but it's or by appointment. Cause she knows people can't always, you know, get there.
So is
But
there a number
even
they
wherever
can
she's
call?
working at school, you can always get something to her that way also.
Yeah, can you just say the number for the camera?
Sure. Her phone number is 860-984-8879. And as we said, the brochure is right online on our website at Norwich Public Schools. And her name is Jalissa Brooks. It's, some people always misspell it because it actually starts with a J.
No, or why?
So it's
Pronounce it.
I mean, It's a
pronounce it?
Y.
Y.
You pronounce it as a J, because it's Spanish. And she's doing marvelous work for us, so we have to support her.
Thank you, Christine. That was great.
Monetary donations also, as Mr. Perry just mentioned.
So the QR code on the brochure,
There's a QR code.
that takes you to the Facebook page for Norwich Public Schools. So I'm not sure what the best way is if someone from the public just wants to be able to
We'll fix that.
easily link to make a donation
Maybe like a
without
phone
having to
just
contact.
Call her,
Right.
yeah, because you can drop off gift cards.
Right. Just making it easier and more convenient would be a good.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know how to even use those.
Okay, so I have the results for the vice chair. We have Greg with 6 votes, Kevin with 1, and Heather with 2. So Greg is our vice chair.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So starting with the January meeting, John will be, I think you had mentioned that you wanted to rearrange tables somehow.
Just
Just a thought.
yeah, I stay up at night thinking about it. Just a couple of.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to move up.
And then Mark just announced the
It's gonna
second.
cost you, I was gonna tell you.
Oh, and
We
then.
actually have done
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna have to work it out.
And of course, Chris is our
Like,
secretary.
get out of the way, Mark.
You can't keep
Robbie, I'll have
moving
to
seat
do
and
it.
seat and seat
No.
away from me.
But no, so just a couple thoughts, if I might. First of all, I wanna say thank you to Mark for
Thank you, Mark.
being the chair for 2 years and enduring what you had to endure through a difficult time. And it's nice that it's just mainly the board here, so my thoughts are pretty simple. And I decided 2 years ago to become involved with Norwich Public Schools to make a difference. And I sit at this table, and I've gotten to know you people at this table the last 2 years, and you're all here for the same reason. And I think that that is a very powerful statement of why we are here. I know we live in turbulent times, I know there's a lot of outside distraction, but when we come to this room and we sit at this table, it's gonna look different in January, but when we sit at the table, we need to put all that stuff away and leave it alone and realize why we are here together as a 9-person board. And that is to make life better for the children of Norwich and the families of Norwich, and that's our goal. I've come to respect and know everyone in this room quite well, and I can't wait for the next 2 years. We have a tremendous responsibility the next 2 years. The changes under the Norwich Public School System is undergoing and with new schools, redistricting, tremendous challenges. But with those challenges, we have responsibility and we have opportunity. And I keep saying that. We have the opportunity to recreate, reinvent, and make better Norwich Public Schools. We have already seen growth in students. We've already seen improvement in attendance. We've already seen a culture where people feel comfortable and welcome. Those things are already happening. We have the responsibility to carry it forward and to make it even better. And I have no doubt, when I look around this room, I have no doubt we have the potential to do all of that in this room. And I'm honored, and I thank you for the opportunity to sit as the chairman of this group. I promise I won't disappoint you. I will work hard. We will all work hard. We will be all accountable for the future of Norwich Public Schools. So thank you, and I really look forward to this next challenge and this opportunity for the next 2 years. So appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'm gonna bring you in a new gavel, one that's like the plastic matted one, so I can't hear it, you know. It really causes me hearing issues when you're trying.
I've got some,
messes
I've
my
got
train
some
of thought
rubber
up
ones
and
at
stuff.
home, Heather.
Rubber?
Yeah.
One of the little
I'd
rubber
like to
mallets.
say something since I'm the new guy around here.
All right.
And that is that I'm sitting here looking at a lot of very good people. We all are working with no remuneration. We're giving up our time. We're asking for nothing in return because we're here to help the children. When I came here for the first time, I said, you know, there's no Democrat way to educate a child, and there's no Republican way to educate a child. So when we walk through that door, the R's and the D's stay in the hall, and we all just work together as best we can. Sometimes we're gonna disagree, but we can do that without being disagreeable. Thank you all.
Appreciate those thoughts and agree with them. Thank you.
And welcome,
And
Dennis.
welcome, Dennis.
Do you wanna
Welcome
consider new
back,
seating
Dennis.
arrangements? or-
I haven't figured that out yet. But but we're working on changing exactly how this whole thing
Well,
seats.
flexible seating.
How about,
Oh.
no, you know what it might be, is it depends on what time you get it, you can pick your seat.
First come, first serve.
I have gymnastics
Just-
on
just
Tuesdays, I
kidding,
can
guys,
barely
just kidding.
get.
I'll bring my own rolly chair and
All
sit
right.
right next to
Okay,
you.
thank you all.
All right, we have one last bit of business, otherwise we're gonna stay here all night. Do I have
I'll
a
make that
motion to
motion to adjourn.
adjourn?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Oh.